Hey guys, in today's video we're going to be talking about what ATV is right for you. Do you need a CFORCE 400, a 500, or do you want a big V-twin like a 800 or 1000? Well, in this video we're going to answer all those questions and try to help you decide what's right for you. Like I said in the intro, guys, a lot of you are just trying to make the decision, what's the best ATV for yourself? So we're going to talk about budget. We're going to talk about the differences in the CFMOTO lineup, and we're going to help you make a more educated decision on the right ATV for you. Now, first of all, obviously, you know, this is all about the CFMOTOs, but I want to make sure or give you some confirmation that you're heading in the right direction by even looking at the CFMOTO ATV lineup to begin with. I mean, guys, when you take a look at this video and you're going to see some of the features that each of these ATVs have, and then we're going to talk about the MSRP, the prices on these ATVs, you're going to realize that when you start shopping around and look at the outdoor prices for the Polaris same spec ATV or the Canam same spec ATV Honda, you're going to realize, wow, I'm getting a whole lot more for my money with the CFMOTO. I'm getting way more features at a much better price. We're talking saving you hundreds, if not thousands, in certain situations. So I think you're on the right track. If you're budget minded and you want the best quality possible, then you're on the right track with CFMOTO. Now, let's talk about different units in the lineup and see some of the features and help you decide, well, I want a CFMOTO, but do I want a 500 or a 400, a 600, 800, 1000? So let's start with the smaller CC and we'll work our way up. We'll start with the CFORCE 400, and at an MSRP of only $53.99, you're getting a great ATV. Guys, the 400cc power plant really is more than enough to get a lot of jobs done. So don't underestimate the power of the CFORCE 400. You can look back on testimonies for the last several years now that there are a lot of happy customers with the 400. This is the least decked out CFORCE in the lineup, okay? But you still get four-wheel drive with front differential lock, okay? We've got some nice tires. You've got these racks here, and there's a lot of accessories for the CFORCE 400, guys. So if you're on a budget, this thing has a nice soft seat that you're going to find also on the 500. You're going to find that the controls are laid out the same. The screen is a little bit different, but it still is plenty for you to see. You've got good ground clearance, and you're sitting at about 43.5 inches wide, okay? But you do have good ground clearance, and you also have high arched A-arms from the factory. So this thing has plenty of ground clearance, plenty of towing capacity to get the job done. But if you'll jump up just $1,100 more dollars, this is one of our most popular ATVs here. It's the CFORCE 500. You see that the design, the body style and all is a lot the same, but there's a lot that you're getting for just $1,100 more dollars MSRP. You're getting power steering from the factory. You're getting a factory installed winch. It's got the controls up here on the handlebars. You got your winch out front here. So that is super nice. You don't have to pay extra for that. You've got LED headlights, which are really bright. They look good. They're going to last a long time. You've got automotive style paint. You've got these nice aluminum alloy wheels and some nice tires. You've got the CVT transmission, so it's an automatic. You have high and low gear. This also has some really neat reverse lights. When you put it in reverse, you've got bright LED lights that's going to brighten up the path as you're trying to back up. You've got a lot of cargo space back here. Again, a really nice, comfortable seat. And with the Gen 3 CFORCE 500 or Gen 2 CFORCE 500, this thing has been redesigned to have even better suspension than the previous generation CFORCE 400 and 500. As a matter of fact, when we start comparing the 600 the 500 actually has a tad bit more suspension travel than the C4 600. Really interesting, but this is a great ATV, and one thing that I think I see compared more than anything is the 500 versus the 600. So one thing that I highly recommend, this goes for the big bore ATVs as well as the smaller CC ATVs, is when you're picking one out, first of all, the most important thing is your budget. You know, don't get yourself in a financial bind, okay? See what makes sense for you, and that's what you need to start out with. But let's just say you can afford anything in the CFORCE lineup. And again, I want you to challenge, or I challenge you to check all the other manufacturers in the market and compare apples to apples and see how much money you're saving going with the CFMOTO ATV. The biggest tip I can give you is when you go into the showroom floor, you need to pick what ATV jumps out at you. Like, what do you look at and you're like, man, that looks sharp. I would be proud to own that, because you don't want to have buyer's regret where you pick an ATV out, bring it home, and you're like, man, I wish I would have got that other ATV. So good news is with the CFMOTO CFORCEs, they all look sharp. I mean, they look really good. As far as like getting one off the showroom floor without having to accessorize it, these CFMOTO ATVs are pretty fine looking. Now, once you figure out which one you like as far as looks go, you need to sit on the ATVs that you're trying to decide between. So if you're trying to decide between the CFORCE 500 and the CFORCE 600, you need to sit on, because they do feel different. The ergonomics on both are different. So sit on them and see which one you feel most comfortable on, because the more comfortable you are on the ATV, the more safe you will be out on the trails. You'll be more confident and you'll enjoy it even more. Let's get to a few differences between the CFORCE 500 and the CFORCE 600. Let's go take a look at those. With the CFORCE 500 2025 model, we're looking at $64.99 right here as far as MSRP, $64.99. And just $900 more, you can get the CFORCE 600. But is that the right move for you? Once you get past, or let's just say the ergonomics and the looks are a tie for you, let's decide what features will make it the right one for you. Now, if you want a little bit more stability, the CFORCE 600 here is 2.5 inches wider. 2.5 inches wider. The CFORCE 500, again, a little bit more narrow, but with the design change, you have just a tad bit more suspension travel. So if you want just a little bit more stability on off-camber heels, the wider, typically the better, the more stable. So the CFORCE 600, a little bit bigger ATV, and you do have more horsepower, obviously, with that 600 engine. They both have four-wheel drive with front differential lock. They both have power steering. They both have LED lighting. So they both have plenty of accessories now out there on the market, especially at teammscparts.com. There's a plethora of accessories out there, okay? So ground clearance is less than half, it's like 0.3 inches difference between the ground clearance. So ground clearance, if that's on your mind, they're both about the same, okay? Same size tires, same size wheels, styling is different, okay? So you do get different drive modes on the CFORCE 600. You have like a work and normal mode, which I could probably explain a little better by saying a sport mode versus economy mode, okay? So you can kind of press that button, it'll change the throttle mapping and allow it to be a little more tame, or you can put it in normal mode and get all the power all at once. So a lot of the same features like automotive style paint, LED lighting, winch, power steering, all that. So for $900 more, you're getting a little bit more width, you're getting a bigger ATV. on the spec sheet at least, and you're getting more horsepower. So it's a really close call. Some people prefer the looks of the 600 over the 500 and vice versa. Some prefer the 500 over the 600. They do feel very different. So if you've been just up to this point only looking at videos and specs, now at this part of the decision process, I recommend coming in and sitting on the ATV. You need to sit on them, see what you think about them, and that will help you make the decision that's best for you. Both of them have plenty of power to get most jobs done. They both have good towing capacity. As a matter of fact, gotta look at my cheat sheet here. Both of them, you have on the CFORCE 500, you have 1,350 pounds of towing capacity. On the 600, it is 1,500 pounds towing capacity, which is really good for a single CC ATV. You got a receiver hitch on the back of both of these. You can pull a trailer, pull a load around, a utility trailer, and get a lot of work done with it. But they're both super fun as well as recreational ATVs. Let's step up to the touring model. Let's think about it for just a moment. If you are looking for the cheapest option to safely drive two people, yourself and a passenger, well, that's where the CFORCE 600 Touring comes into play, and it is a great option for you. You got a really, really nice seat here, and also a footrest here for your passengers. They can hold on to you or these grab handles, and they're gonna feel nice and secure and comfortable even on an all-day trail riding adventure. So if that is what you're planning on doing, if you plan to ride more than just yourself, then this is a great option for you. Now, just to speed things up a little bit, I've done a lot more videos here recently on the Real Talk Powersports YouTube channel on the CFORCE 1000 Gen 3 model. This is brand new for CFMOTO this year. They introduced them mid-year for 2024, but really they're just taking over the big bore ATV market in especially in 2025. These are awesome ATVs. We have right here, we have the 1000s and the 800s. So let's quickly talk about the differences between those two, and then we'll wrap this video up for y'all. So with the 800 and 1000, the designs are the same. You do have a different color option. You have the lava orange in the 800. You have camo in both options. And then you have the gray, the Tundra gray, which we actually have one way over there in the corner. The graphics look a little bit different between the Tundra gray 800 and the gray on the 1000, but the same color overall. Then on the 1000, you do have a black option, which is right here with orange accents. Okay, super good looking machines there. Now, let's go over some of the differences real quick. You do get a 1-inch bigger tire size on the 1000. Obviously, you've got more horsepower with the 1000 over the 800, so that's a key difference there. And then you have the suspension is different. Now, I'll try to show them this here, Erica. On the 1000, I don't know if they can see right here, you may have to stick the camera up in here, but you have the internal, you got the bypass reservoir shocks, so you have more adjustment and a little more premium suspension package with the 1000, whereas the 800 here is just your standard shock that comes on most stock ATVs. So 800 or the 1000 does have more premium suspension, but as far as the geometry between the two, they're both the same as far as that goes. Same width, same trailing arm rear suspension. So really, really nice ride quality, even with the 800. The other thing that's different is the accent lighting. So I'll give you an example of that. You can look up front here. Now, you'll see here On the 1000, this is the Camo 1000, you have the I call them the angry eyebrows, but you have this center LED accent light that goes all the way across, whereas on the 800, you're only going to get the angry eyebrows. You don't get the unibrow, okay? So that's one difference. And it's the same thing on the back. We can pull them out, but same thing. You get the LED accent light all the way across on the rear of the 1000. You only get accent lighting above the rear tail lights on the 800. Now you can upgrade it, but it is an upgrade if you're trying to make that happen on the 800. Unless I missed something, which I very well could have, that's it. Different tire, you got 1 inch bigger tires, more horsepower, better suspension package, and the LED accent lighting. I think that's it. I may have to holler in there and make sure. But yeah, that's the difference there between those two models. Does the 800 have enough power for you and a passenger? Absolutely. It's a beast, okay? Plenty of torque, and it is a fun machine to ride. But if you just have to have the biggest and baddest ATV, then the 1000 is for you. Now, I hope that this video was helpful for y'all. We have a lot of people that are trying to make that decision on which one should I go with. Again, number one thing you should think about and consider is your budget. Number two, man, what looks best to you? You want to be proud of it. And then I think equally with that, you need to feel comfortable on the ATV that you choose, okay? Of course, you can adjust things like the handlebar position and stuff like that, but overall, you need to sit on it, make sure that you feel comfortable, and then go with it if you like that. So guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and we would love for you to come to Main Street Cycle and let us help you get the machine that you want. It may not be an ATV, you may be a side-by-side person, and we've got those here as well. And we'll talk about those in another video. But guys, again, we appreciate you. Hope that you make the trip to Main Street Cycle. Let us help you get on the ride that you really want. Also remember, if you need any parts or accessories, teammscparts.com is the place to go for all of your parts and accessory needs. And again, that's not just CFMOTO. We have stuff for everybody. Guys, we appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and please leave a comment. God bless you. As always, remember to keep it real. We'll see you in the next one.